Well, still in the studio is Temitope Olodo, who is an African security strategist, and Tsanka Zhou, who is an Africa analyst. The potential, Temi, is just huge when you read these lists of resources. But is it too simple to say a lot of them are going to waste? Yeah, because that wealth is not coming back to the country.
Yes, so far, in terms of the strategic deployment of the resources for the masses, it's not the case. The resources have more or less helped to fuel the war. And what we're hoping for with this new accord and this change in the atmosphere as the wind of democracy blows across Africa, what we're hoping for is that their Congo will take advantage of this, and this political settlement will lead to economic prosperity for the people.
Because the markets have changed, haven't they, over time? I suppose goods used to go to Europe. I mean, the Chinese are now in DR Congo in big time, aren't they? Are they paying a fair price for what they're taking out of it? That's
it's difficult to know. There are a lot of human rights issues associated with how that mineral gets off the ground in the first place. So there is a challenge. The second challenge is that even under Mobutu, the 30 or so years under Mobutu Sese Seko, the average person was not benefiting from the mineral wealth that the country has. And what appears to have happened under the two Kabilas is that there are a lot of foreign people that have come in. They are now owning the mines, they own the concessions, right. And those people have long-term contracts, and that will be very difficult even for the new government to cancel. And most of those projects now are going to China because that's where the manufacturing is. And China is now reciprocating that by saying to the government they will look after infrastructure projects. But even those, they are tied into mining concessions. Yes. So it is a very difficult thing, which is why when we were talking about Kabila wanting to stay, or his people wanting to stay, there are many people, local and foreign, who have an interest in making sure that he remains there to continue the mineral.
But who's keeping an eye on the deals, though? You see, I mean, let's say a Chinese factory has been given the next 10 years of mining rights of a particular site. They talk about building a road or a motorway or a school or, these days, I suppose, internet infrastructure or whatever it might be. Who's holding them to account? Are we sure those deals are good deals?
And that's the issue, and that's the reason why when Barack Obama was in Africa, he said, you know, just don't accept everything that is thrown at you. We know that we come with the ethical issues, we raise this concern, and the other people look, you know, the other side and say, you could do whatever you want to do with your people, just give us the deal and we grab it and we go away. And that's the reason why there is need for accountability, there is need. But with all the tension, political tension, the eyes is off the ball in terms of the accountability.
Well, it's difficult to do any of this stuff when you've got little wars going on, right?
Definitely.
Can I just say, it's part of the campaign. There are quite a number of international organizations that are looking at transparency issues, that are looking at whether these deals are fair contracts, what is called fair international contracts, and also asking Western countries in particular. We had some limitations issues legally where the DR Congo tried to get some of the wealth that had been taken out by Mobutu, but they were told, you have run out of time to legally claim that.
Yeah. So any kind of repatriating of that wealth is difficult to do.
And what you are having now in Africa, not only in the DR Congo, in Zambia, we saw the same thing happening. In Chad, we saw the same thing happening with ExxonMobil being asked to repay part of the tax bill, about 74 billion over the last few years. It is the capacity within the African governments to make sure that they have legal experts, technically, who can assist them at the time of signing that contract. Contracts are very difficult. And this is why a lot of Congolese people are saying Kabila must go, because they want an opportunity to start afresh, look at all these governance systems and have something in place that can safeguard the interests of the Congolese people.
Because in theory, DR Congo could be a leading force in this part of the world just by its sort of geographical status, slap bang in the middle of Africa. as we mentioned in part one of our programme today, in actual fact, it feels like it's being battered by internal struggles, and of course all its neighbours, instead of helping, are probably making matters worse.
Yeah, they are making matters worse. We're talking of a country that is the fourth largest in Africa. The trade, internal trade within Africa is roughly between 12 to 14%. So what we're talking about here is that if only everybody could just look at the interest of Africa for Africa and look at allowing Congo to just get that head up, lift
But what
up.
about those Pan-African bodies in these political forces? They seem impotent in the face of all this, don't they? They're just talking shops. They don't get anything done?
There are a lot of efforts that are being made to try and correct the situation as part of what is happening, time to democratize Africa, because it is when there is democracy, there's transparency, that the average person from the village to the streets in the capital city in Kinshasa or anywhere will benefit. But having said that, there will also be positive stories. The DR Congo has always had, even during the times of trouble, positive stories to point at that can bring them together. They are doing very well in football terms in Gabon, in the Africa Cup of Nations now, and that is bringing the nation together. So when they work together, they forget about the tribal differences, the ethnic differences, the issues of conflict that have set them apart. Then as long as they can work together, they can achieve.